So, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner by Coleridge. So, he's telling about the mariner is now an old person and he is very sad because of the sin he has committed, and he wants to tell his story to someone to lighten his burden from the soul. So, let's start. The ship was, no, not here. It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of the three. The three persons are coming. So he stops one of them. His features are long beard and his glittering eye. Now wherefore you stoppest thou me? So the guest asked him, why have you stopped me? The bridegroom doors are opened wide. So they are going to attend the marriage ceremony. And he says that I am next of kin. He is a relative of the bridegroom. And the guests have assembled, met means assembled. The feast is set and feast is also going on. Mayest hear the merry din. Can't you hear the happy music which is going on? So he holds him with his skinny hand. Skinny means very thin, bony. The mariner is very, so he holds him with his skinny hand. There was a ship, and he starts to begin. He starts his story with there was a ship. So the guest says, unfold, unhand me, hold off. Why are you holding my eye? Grey beard loon. Loon is a sort of rogue person, miscreant. Soon means immediately his hand dropped he. So he left his hand. But he holds him with his glittering eyes. Glittering means shiny eyes, captivating eyes, and he captivates him. So the wedding guest stood still. He is probably hypnotized or mesmerized and listens like a 3 years child. The mariner has his will. So in this way, we say that the mariner got his wishes granted. The wedding guest sat on a stone. So he couldn't do anything. He sat on a stone. He cannot choose but hear. So he had no option but to hear him only. He cannot run away. He is hypnotized by the glittering eye of the ancient mariner. So once again, he starts his story. The ship was sheared, the harbor cleared. Means the ship left the harbor, and merrily did we drop. Means the crew dropped the sail, and we drop into the sea below the kirk, below the hill. He is describing the passage as he went into the sea below the lighthouse top. The sun came up upon the left. Means towards his left is the sun rising. That means it is eastward. That means they are moving towards north. If we point east towards the sun, that means we are moving towards south. That means the ship is going towards south. That is the indication. Out of the sea came he. Now here he is used as personification for the sun, and he shone bright on the right, went down into the sea. And in the evening, the sun set in the western side, obviously. So it is the right side. This also shows that the ship is going towards south.
South or
Now,
north?
south. You face
Oh,
east, keep your hand left towards the east. You will face south. Huh?
okay.
You draw on a by hand north, south, east, west. You see it will, if east is right, west is left, north is top, south is down.
Yeah, important.
So higher and higher every day, till over the mast at noon. The sun comes over the head at noon, and it is extremely hot. The wedding guest here beat his breast, for he heard the loud bassoon. So he shows his helplessness that he wants to go to attend the marriage party because he hears the music of the bassoon, that is musical instrument. But he cannot go, and he is beating his breast because he feels himself helpless. For he heard the loud bassoon. Bassoon is the musical instrument. The bride had paced into the hall, means moved into the hall. He describes the bride red as a rose as she, nodding their heads before her goes the merry minstrels say. Minstrels say is the music band, the party, and all of them are bowing their heads in order to give respect to the bride. The wedding guest, he beat his breast. Again, repetition of the same line, that is called refrain, figure of speech. The wedding guest, he beat his breast, yet he cannot choose but hear. He is helpless. It seems that he has been hypnotized. He cannot leave though he wants to go to attend the party, but he is unable to go. And thus spoke on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. So I think there is no question up till here. It's clear. Is there any question if you want to ask?
Not now, sir.
And now, and now the storm blasts. Now they are in the sea. The weather becomes horrendous. There is a storm blast coming, and he was tyrannous and strong. So once again, he was tyrannous, means the wind is very tyrannous. Tyrannous means very cruel, coming from the word tyranny, tyrant, a king who is tyrant. He is very cruel and ruthless and very strong. He is struck with his, and the wind is striking the sail and the ship with his overtaking wings. Now here wings refers to bird. That means he is metaphorically using the wind, describing the wind as if it is the wings of a bird and it is hitting the ship very hard and chased us as if the wind is chasing us south along. And south it went, the ship went towards the south, extreme south, that means polar Antarctic region, where it is full of ice with sloping mast because the wind was very strong. The mast went down. Mast is the middle pole of a ship, and dipping prow is the front portion of the ship. And when the mast is going down, prow, front part of the ship also goes down. As who pursued with yell and blow. Pursued means to chase, as if the wind is an enemy of theirs and he is chasing the ship with yelling sound and blowing strongly, still treads the shadow of his foe. Foe means enemy, as if the ship was its enemy and he is pursuing. And forward bends his head, and the ship bends his means prow forward. The ship drove fast, and the ship, because the strong wind is blowing, loud roared the blast, and the wind was blowing like a blast. Southward we fled, and they are moving towards south with a strong speed. And now there came both mist and snow, and they have reached the Antarctica region, which is covered with snow, mist, and snow, and everything wondrous cold. It is extreme cold in that area, and they see ice, mast high means very huge icebergs came floating by as green as emerald. Now here emerald is a green stone, very precious stone, and it has been described as green because the moss which has accumulated on the surface of the water or ice, that is also green, and the reflection that reflects the light as if it is greenish. So it has been compared to emerald green. And through the drifts, the snowy cliffs, and they are surrounded by snowy cliff, huge mountain of snow, did send a dismal sheen. Now, dismal sheen is such a word. The figure of speech is oxymoron. Oxymoron is such a figure of speech which contrasting aspects are shown together. Dismal refers to sadness, and sheen refers to shine. Shine is refers to happiness. So sadness and happiness both used together becomes dismal sheen. That sort of figure of speech is described as oxymoron, Oxymoron. And there nor shapes of men nor beasts we came. The ice was all between. Means here there was no life, no one visible. All over they were surrounded by ice. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. Repetition of ice shows that the author, the poet, shows emphasis of the painful, the anguish, uh, the untoward condition, miserable condition due to ice, and they have been surrounded by this ice. It cracked
Sir,
and ground. Ice cracked, yes.
sir, what is the difference between refrain and repetition?
Refrain, repetition is only word. Refrain is the whole line repeated in several places in the poem. Repetition is word. For instance, here ice, ice, ice has been repeated. You cannot call this refrain. But the whole line, if the whole line is repeated, that is called refrain.
Beat his
Got
breast.
it? So it
Okay.
cracked and growled. It is the cracking sound is of ice. It is the growling sound, roaring sound, and howling sound. The sound has been giving a sound imagery by the poet, and lots of images have been visual imagery, sound imaginary, like noises in a swound. Swound is also, I think it was earlier, as far as I can remember, it was a swoon. So sound like noises in a sound, it must be a musical instrument, I think.
Hmm.
So at length did. Now here, there is a turning point in the story. Here, the the story changes. The albatross came as a savior sent from God. Albatross is a bird, as if when it comes, their unfavorable condition are changed and everything becomes favorable. Because of its advent, means arrival, through the fog it came, as if it had been a Christian soul, means sent by a God, sent by God. We hailed it in God's name, and everyone called out, "Oh, God has sent this albatross to save our life." Huh? It ate the food it never had eaten, and they supplied food to him, and it ate. The ice did split, and because of its arrival, the ice split into two, as if with a thundering sound. The helmsman, means the one who controls the ship steering, he is called the helmsman, steered us through, and everything gave way to the ship in order to move out of this untoward condition of the sea. And they, once again, they were moving in the sea. The misery has come to an end. Any question?
So albatross, what is albatross? Is it a ship or
It's a bird. It's
some?
a bird, a very huge bird, 8 feet from one tip to another tip. That is the length of the ship, the bird. Very huge ship. Sea bird.
Bird?
Uh, and it is found only in seas. So now the wind blows from the south. That is, the direction of the ship has changed from south towards north. The ship is moving now towards south, north, away from the Antarctica. And the albatross also follow the ship. And every day for food or play came to the mariner's hollow. Hollow means calling out. When they called out, the albatross came, they fed him. In mist or cloud, on mast or shroud, it perched. Perched means to sit. For Vespers now 9. Here Vespers 9 is something supernatural. You see 9, 3, 9, 18. There, that is supernatural number. And Vespers is the word for church prayer time. So it came at just exactly prayer time, whilst all night through fog, smoke, white, glimmered the white moon sunshine. Here moon is shining, that shows that the fog and mist has disappeared because of the arrival of
Albatross. Albatross.
albatross. So the moon is shining, glimmering. That means the sky is clear, the atmosphere is clear because of the ancient, because of the albatross. Because albatross, they believe it was sent by God as a
God.
Christian soul. God save thee. Now here, the once again there is a twist in the story of the mariner. God save thee, ancient mariner, from the fiends that plague thee thus. Why lookest thou so? With my crossbow I shot the albatross. Now at this moment, the guest asked him, "Why you look so sad? Your face is saddened now." God save thee, ancient mariner. Only God can save you from the fiends. Fiends, you can say something evil that annoy you now, that plague you, means that annoy you now. Why you lookest thou so? Why you look like very sad? So he answers, the biggest mistake I did with my crossbow, I shot the albatross. And he realizes from then on, the untoward condition again engulfs the ship, and their misery once again enhanced, and they fell in the strong grip of the soul of the albatross, which has a revenging attitude then after. So let's give an end to this first part. We shall continue sometime later, second part.